So apparently there's like 15 things that hardcore gamers still hate about video games in 2023. I wasn't aware of this, but let's see if they hit a nail on the head. Let's see. Watch me agree with all of them or disagree with all of them.
Day and age, but nothing is ever perfect. For every excellent new game or exciting new announcement, we get a disappointing release, a broken port, or developers making poor choices.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
We're going to talk about a few such things that we're hoping to see less of as time goes by. Battle passes. When first introduced, battle passes felt like a decent compromise between publishers who wanted to monetize their games and players who wanted that reined in. But at this point, it's hard not to groan anytime it's confirmed that an upcoming game will feature a battle pass system.
Yup.
Maybe it's because most battle passes fail to provide a satisfying look of progression and rewards, or maybe it's because of the strong association battle passes generally have with poorly thought out live service models.
Yeah,
Either way,
Fortnite had
we
it the
wouldn't
best
mind
when they
seeing
first
fewer
started. I don't
games
know about now,
cramming battle
but
passes
Fortnite
down
did
our
it the
throats in the
best
future.
in the beginning. No pay to win at all.
Supported live service games. The value of a well-made and well-supported live service game simply cannot be overstated, and from Destiny 2, Fortnite, and Sea of Thieves to No Man's Sky and more, there's no shortage of games that have done justice to the games as a service model. Sadly, they're outnumbered by games that try to walk that same path, but fail to do so to varying degrees. These are games that either cannot put together a decent roadmap for post-launch support, or just as often, games that cannot keep up with the promised roadmap.
Yeah.
And frankly, we've had more than our fair share of these by now.
Like, why would you give it to me if I couldn't have it?
Multiplayer
Like, come on.
shooter oversaturation.
Yeah.
Multiplayer shooters are fun.
That's right.
Well, they can be if the developers do them right and they continue to support them well. Often either one or both of those things don't happen though. The free-to-play multiplayer.
I'm telling you, Prime Fortnite was something else, yo. I miss it so much. Makes me want to cry thinking about it.
Or so, but that success has gone hand in hand with way too many pretenders and poorly designed or poorly supported games trying and failing to get a piece of that pie as well. Whether that wave will slow down to a trickle at any point in the relatively near future remains to be seen. Cheating in multiplayer games.
Thank you so much,
is a problem
but like
that has continued to grow increasingly.
Yeah, it is kind of the
prevalent
developer's
in
fault for
games.
not
And boy, is it infuriating.
proofing it.
Hackers and cheaters have proven detrimental to the experience in a number of online games.
Wait, they brought that old damn
SMG,
tactical SMG back?
Away in mass. Developers are, of course, continuing to find ways to keep the issue at bay. So here's hoping those measures continue to get
man,
more
Fortnite has changed too much because sometimes I think about going back there. I'm like, I'll get clapped so easily. So yeah, hate that too. Definitely hate that.
Variety of forms, and each is usually met by dissatisfaction from players. But nothing is quite as annoying as needing a persistent internet connection, even when you're playing a game solo. Gran Turismo 7 and Redfall are. All
right, let me just say something right now. Let me just say something. This should be a given, because imagine being a developer and being like, damn, bro, we gonna make this game that somebody wants to play alone. They gonna have to get online anyway, even if they don't have internet or stable internet. We're gonna put them online, and then when they get online, they're gonna play by themselves. It's stupid. Like, what? You're pretty much just saying, hey, don't buy my game if you don't want to be online. Like, bro, some of us just like being online. What if we're traveling? Like, what if I take my PS5 to another country, I plug it up to the TV, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to bother connecting to internet. What if I want to play offline? Boom, you fucked.
Prominent examples of this, but there have been plenty more over the years, and it's always a baffling move by developers. If a player wants to ignore a game's online component and play it completely solo while disconnected from the internet, maybe they should just have the option to do that. Single-player devs chasing multiplayer trends.
Yeah.
We love seeing developers trying new things and experimenting with ideas that may be outside their comfort zone, but maybe not as a rule. Because if there's one thing we've learned by now, it's that more often than not, developers that are known for developing single-player experiences very often don't see a lot of success when they try to move into the multiplayer space.
Yeah, they shouldn't do that.
Quite a few prominent examples of that in recent years, like BioWare with Anthem, Crystal Dynamics with Marvel's Avengers, and Bethesda with Fallout 76.
Oh man, Fallout 76 was so ass on launch for my friends. Like, I was like, I didn't even buy it. And they were just like, bro, this shit ass. Thank you. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yo. I just did a reaction on open worlds, and then I just ranted about them. Before you even start, bro, don't. Oh my god. There's open worlds where there's too much to do, right? And then there's open worlds where there's nothing to do. It's like, bro, if you cannot balance an open world, just don't make a fucking open world game. All right. Thank you. People like, oh man, open world. Like, stop. No more open worlds, please. Unless they good. So you won't see us complaining about the abundance of them available at any given time.
However, what you will see as complaining about open worlds is their current trend of prioritizing quantity over quality.
Yeah, exactly.
Having massive maps that you can freely explore is all well and good, but when that map is so unbelievably large and littered with so much to do, you can't help but feel a bit exhausted.
No, I gotta continue. So, am I the only one that hates those open worlds where it's like, all right, unless you're Spider-Man, all right, look, the world is open to you now, right? The world is open. We're gonna set up these bases around the map, right? And you gotta take all of them bases down. And wait. Those bases are the exact same, just different areas. And look, by the way, there's like 20 of them. So once you get all of these bases down, by the way, you're going to need to find, there's a shard there that you need to upgrade. And once you upgrade, you become more powerful, but you can't get it without attacking these areas and taking down all these bases that are the exact same. Oh, by the way, why don't you go and burn that house down because it's infected with zombies? Yes, I'm looking at you, Days Gone. Bro, why? I don't like that shit. You're just doing the same shit over and over again and it gets repetitive. That's the reason why open world games, they need fine tuning. Yes, I'm talking about Elden Ring again. What's more ridiculous in that game is that the open world was so beautiful, but you get drained halfway through the game once you go into the 50th dungeon and there's the same damn boss there for the 50th time. Bro, please stop that. I would just prefer quality side missions over quantity of them. Like, give me a game that's 30 hours, not 100. Please. Thank you. Okay, I'm sorry. Not really.
Especially because having that much content usually comes at the cost of quality. We'd much rather have smaller, denser maps that might have less content, but content that doesn't feel like it was almost procedurally generated, whether that's quests, side activities, or even parts of the
motherfuckers will be like, yo, AI missions now.
60 FPS still not the standard. At the outset of the PS5 and Xbox Series X,
why isn't Red Dead Redemption 2 60 frames on PS5?
Publishers hyped up the fact that with the more powerful hardware of the new consoles, 60 FPS would become the new standard for games going forward. And while most major releases do launch with a 60 FPS option, it's frustrating that it's still not the standard. Recently, for instance, Arcane announced that Redfall would feature a 60 FPS option at launch. And
you see that? You see that? Motherfuckers, he's T-posing in the background.
Releasing exclusively for current gen hardware at this point in the generation, that's a hard pill to swallow. Too many cross-gen games. Cross-gen games have always been a thing, but they have had a much longer life during this generation transition than they ever had in the past. Yes, circumstances like the worldwide stock shortages for consoles did have a role to play in that, but we're now 2.5 years into the console generation, and the majority of games still tend to be cross-gen releases. Hopefully, it won't be long before games that weren't held back due to having to run on significantly weaker hardware start becoming the norm.
Yeah, I can see that.
Too many development reboots. Developing games can be an unbelievably complicated
let me hear them out,
process,
I'm a bit
and every
confused.
single project goes through plenty of iteration, while plenty also end up on the cutting floor. But with startling frequency, we hear of games where those issues go so far that developers are forced to hit the reset button and start over.
I got it.
These development reboots wouldn't be much of an annoyance to audiences if they didn't lead to significant delays for games that they've already been waiting for years, which incidentally brings us to our next point. Games getting announced too early. Publishers are slowly beginning to understand the effectiveness.
Hey man, this game ain't finished yet. It's nowhere near finished. But bro, it's coming out. If you aren't close to having a set release date, if you are not close to saying, hey, this is when the game coming out, you can pre-order right now. Don't say shit. I don't want to know about it. I don't want to know shit about it. As much as I'm excited for that Wolverine game coming up and I hope that the state of play rumor shit is true, if it's not there, if I don't see any Wolverine gameplay, if I don't see any new Wolverine updates, I'm going to be like, why the fuck you tell me about it then? Why the hell is Spider-Man 2 not having more announcements since it's been announced last year, isn't it? If Silent Hill 2 don't have nothing coming up, like that trailer was amazing, yo. I'm excited. At least it had a trailer, but like, don't tell me about it if it's not coming within the next year. I don't want to hear shit about, yo, it's coming in 2027. Nigga, I'm gonna be damn motherfucking doing other shit with my life in 2027. Really? Like, come on, man. I'll probably still be playing, but come on, don't tell me about it. Just let me Just let it happen when it happens.
Of shorter marketing cycles,
Elder
and smaller
Scrolls
gaps
7
between announcement and release. But even so, there are way too many examples out there of games getting announced way too early, and fans having to wait for them to launch for years on end. Often
years.
with little to no updates
Question
being provided
question
by
mark
developers
years
or publishers.
instead
By
of
the
years.
time Starfield launches in September, it'll have been over 5 years since it was officially announced.
Stupid ass.
For the Elder Scrolls 6, it might have been twice as long. The Legend of
Stupid
Zelda
ass.
Tears of the Kingdom's launch will be separated by its announcement back in 2019 by nearly 4 years.
Stupid
And then
ass.
you have upcoming Microsoft titles like Fable, Perfect Dark, Everwild, Contraband, and many others, all of which were announced years ago, but haven't received a single update since then. And
Worst
still
shit
don't
ever.
look any closer to releasing.
Worst shit ever.
$70 games. From the prevalence of in-game monetization models, to the increasing prices of hardware, to the barrage of season passes and deluxe editions and what have you, we're inundated by games looking to make a dent in our wallet. So it's no surprise that games increasing their standard price to $70 is something that hasn't gone down well with anyone.
It's
On
unfortunate.
PS5 and Xbox Series X and S, major publishers like Microsoft, Sony, EA, Activision, Take-Two Interactive have all started pricing their games at a standard $70 price. Hell, even Nintendo recently announced that The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom would be a $70 game, and that's releasing for a 6-year-old tablet that was underpowered even at launch.
Damn. Okay, I can see that. Like, the thing is, I am not going to be a hypocrite. If I see a game that I like, I'll buy that shit heartbeat. Like Silent Hill 2, as soon as it drops, I'm probably just going to slap a pre-order on that shit. I missed the times where the shit was like 50, maximum 60, but like going up $10, bro, that's just too much. It's too much. It's ridiculous. And then when you actually like look at games here in the different currency, like in British pounds, and they're $69.99, that's probably going to be closer to in the 70s, close to $80 in the USD. So it's getting slick out here. So y'all need to chill, yo. Like, bro, we already bought the $500 console. Let the games breathe a little bit, yo. Let them.
Too many crappy PC ports.
Yep,
The list
agreed.
of all the
I don't even
benefits
play
that
this shit on
gaming
PC. Like
provides is a
Last of
nearly
Us,
never-ending
PS5,
one.
but damn,
All too often, developers
ridiculous.
fail to take proper advantage of
If
that.
I wanted to play it on
In spite
PC, I
of all
can.
of its advantages as a platform, PC often ends up getting the short end of the stick with poorly optimized versions of multi-platform releases. In fact, you don't even have to look too far back to get a healthy selection of games that had significant issues on PC,
Hit
including
ass.
the likes of Wild Hearts and, of course, The Last of Us Part 1.
Unfortunately.
VR not taking off the way it should have. We were all excited about the promise of VR a little over a half decade ago, but several years on, it feels like it just hasn't gathered any sort of momentum.
I don't have
not enough to have broken out of its niche corner by any means. VR hardware has, of course, grown better and more convenient to use, while we've also seen a number of notable
There's nothing that
releases
makes me
have
buy a
proven
VR
how
machine, though.
excellent VR games
Like, there's
can be,
nothing out there
but
yet
those
that I want to be
victories
like,
have
oh yeah,
still
I gotta
been a
do
bit
this,
too
you know.
sparse. At this point,
It made me
it's hard
dizzy
to
too. I
see
tried
what
it.
the future has in store for VR, but it's clear that it's unlikely to take off the way many had hoped at one point that it would. DRM. The implementation of DRM has
Fuck is
often been known
DRM?
to cause dissatisfaction among players for a variety of reasons, and you don't have to look too hard to see prominent examples. Take the Xbox consoles, for instance, which seem to go out of their way to make it difficult for you to play anything unless you're connected to the internet, while the implementation of de novo DRM in a number of PC titles has also been known to disgruntle quite a few, in large
the fuck
part
is
thanks to the
DRM?
performance issues it tends to bring with it. So what are your thoughts on this?
I don't
Go
know what
ahead and share them
DRM,
in the
bro.
comments below.
Hold up, what the fuck is DRM? So just assuming that it's like pretty much saying that it has something to do with logging online and it kind of fucks. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, that sucks. Great list, by the way. Great list. I understand why some companies do shit, but I also don't understand why certain companies do shit and then they hear back from their audience and then they continue to do the same shit. Like maybe it's just because we're still gonna buy the games if we really like them. Like knowing me, I will buy the most expensive copy of Silent Hill 2 if they have a collector's edition or some shit like that. I will buy the most expensive copy on it on the PC because I will end up getting it on both ports if I really, really fucking love it. So I can play it on my Steam Deck if it runs well on there. But I guess like, yeah, when people buy shit and then they continue to buy shit even when they do shit they don't like, I guess they're just like, oh, I guess we won't. But it's like, who's gonna stop buying shit? Like people are like, yo, we need to start a rebellion. Tell these fuckers that we're not gonna buy their games. Like, stop lying. We're gonna buy the games. But it would be cool if they did listen to us more because there's some problems here. and it stops me from like seeing, oh shit, there's a new game coming out. Let me check the net. Never mind. I guess I'll just wait a few months or a few years for the next game I really want to play to come out. That kind of feels bad. Gaming back in the day was better because